listening live to the Two Extreme Horror Show. I'm your host, Rob. Guesting with me tonight is Dr. Venkman. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening.
You sound rather peppy.
Yes, I just saw this movie, and I gotta say, I think a lot of people praise this movie more than it should be praised. I'm not saying it's a bad movie, but there were scenes that I enjoyed about this movie. And Jay, you can get mad all you want. I know you said it's your favorite movie. That's cool. I'm not saying this movie sucked, but I'm saying there are parts of this movie that were just ridiculous.
Well,
I don't
American
know, like
Werewolf in
there's
London is the movie we're going to be discussing tonight, 1981. Definitely be interesting to hear this difference because I think it's a fantastic film. So, because it's such a special film, let me see if I can summon the GIMP.
Well, bring out the gimp.
We'll see if that works there. So, Jay's in channel. Good evening, Jay. Good evening, Johnny. Johnny, definitely see this movie unrated. Let's give Jay a special shout out. The three bang salute, as I like to call it. Tell me if you guys are hearing this.
Simon Connor! Bang!
When it's all said and done, there can be only one. Bang!
When it's all said and done, there can be only one. Bang. Okay, American Werewolf in London. Let's get right down to it. So, Doctor, I prescribe to you, as your physician, unofficially, a diagnosis of millennial disease because you hadn't seen this movie. So I made you go see it. And you hadn't seen this before, correct?
I've seen parts of it on TV before,
Okay.
so and also clips on YouTube as well. So I've never seen it all the way through though. So when I first saw this, I'm like, okay, well, it's a werewolf movie because I remember seeing like bits and pieces of where he transforms. I'm like, oh, dude, it's gonna be like super scary, a horror movie. Boy, was I fucking wrong.
Well, let me start off by saying this because I think what we're going to be discussing, the good parts about this movie, is somewhere between what you're thinking and what I'm thinking. I think it's a great film because, one, it's got supposedly all these comic elements into it, and you think it's fun, and you're like, yeah, this is a cool movie, I love it. But then actually, when you sit down and you watch it, you're impressed by how great it looks, how great the practical effects are, how real the people seem to be, the locations, everything about it. But then you realize this is just a really friggin' dark, almost evil film. Not evil's not the right word. It's just soulless with the stuff going on, and I think that really, with some of the dream sequences and things that happens, and of course the ending, really put it in contrast with some of the other things that they. Most people say, "Oh, this is funny," or it lightens it up, and I'm like, I don't think it does at all. All the scenes that they're supposed to be funny, they're more like a cynical, bitter sense of humor as opposed to ha ha ha, that's cute and that's funny, especially watching this as an adult. So to me, this is definitely a horror film. It's not a comedy horror. I don't believe that at all. And I think you were trying to explain some different aspects about it earlier offline. So what do you think?
Well, it started off as like two guys backpacking. There's just two college kids, probably fresh out of high school or getting ready to go to college.
Two
One
bros,
dude's
two
bragging
mates,
about how
want
he's
to
gonna get
just
laid
check
when he
it
get to
out.
Germany or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they get dropped off, and the guy's like, "Well, tells them, hey, stick to the road. Do not go into the moors." You know,
Listen to your elders.
right? So they get there, like they walk, so they follow the road, and they get to this little town, and it's called what was it called? The slaughterhouse,
Slaughtered pig or something, slaughtered lamb.
slaughter lamb or something like that.
Yeah.
So they go in there, and his friend Jack, what a freaking idiot is. Like everything is going well, and like they finally get all the guys tell the story, talking about, he tells the little racial joke he has, which was kind of funny. But I don't want to repeat it on YouTube in case we get a violation.
I
But
understand.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, he's trying to the two Americans go into England where they're known for being stuffy, and they're in a small
yeah,
town, so you have the whole small town politics where everybody knows everybody's business, and they're just trying to. They're not actually like arrogant Americans. Actually, they're
no,
respectful enough, but they're just kind of put off by just how off-putting everybody's acting and how they're just kind of shunning them. They try to order a beer and get something to eat, and they're like, now we're going to leave, and not before they're like, hey, what's that? And they see the
Yeah,
pentagram and the candles.
yeah.
So I'll say this, and then you can take it from there. I thought this scene alone was just very terrifying, and I don't know why. Maybe it was just how expertly it was filmed, catching people's reactions and stuff. But this didn't seem hokey at all. It seemed really good.
No, no. This is what I said. Let's up until this part. I'm like, I'm really enjoying this. This just seems the villagers know something. They're not gonna tell him. And the guy's like, well, dude, if you want to ask, he's like, you ask him. Like, no, dude, if you want to ask, go ask yourself. And I'm thinking, I would have told him, shut the fuck up, you idiot. It's like we're in a town where we don't know anybody, and you're just gonna piss somebody off by asking a stupid question. You know, they already they kind of already gave him the cold shoulder first. So it's like. So yeah, so then he asks this stuff. It's like, and now of course they get like one guy misses. He's playing darts, misses the dart. He's like, "You made me miss," and like I'm like, "Oh, he's gonna get his ass kicked now." But so then yeah, so then they're like,
Yeah, throwing darts. I never miss.
I know, I know. It's like it's just so random. They throw it in there. So like then they say, well, it starts raining outside, and like everybody they basically they chicken out. They think everybody's gonna kick their ass, so they're like they just kind of slowly get out, walk out, and like you see like the barmaid, she's on there, like, dude, go after them, they don't know what they're good for. He's like, let them, they'll die, or whatever. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It's like obviously they know that something's gonna happen to them. So they're out there like and well, of course, what do? It starts raining. They're pissed off and all. And they start walking through the freaking moor.
Yeah, they're kind of like lost. They don't know where the hell they're going. They're just going.
And,
That's all they can do.
it's classic. Old werewolf movies. It's always you're lost in the either in the woods or like in the right around the woods. It's foggy outside. You can't see anything. It's dark, and then all you see is the moonlight, and then you start hearing the wolf. And the dude's like, it's maybe it's a shepherd dog, and he's like, he's fine, and up to the point where like he gets attacked, you don't really see the werewolf, at this point it's
Yeah,
like
you
cool, you don't
never
really
see it. That's the beauty of it.
yeah, well, you see it at the very end of the movie, but
Right, but I mean, all the way up to
yeah,
you don't see it. Well, at
yeah,
least
you,
in
you
one
don't
other
see
scene,
it.
a little bit. But right now, you see nothing except them trying to react, and they're like, oh, let's try to go this way. No, it's following us. It's going around us. It's just a fantastic scene.
Yes. So like yeah, he sees his friend get freaking mauled. Of course he's like, fuck this, you're on your own, bitch. He runs away. Then he's like, wait, Jack's over there, I can't let him die. At this point he's already dead. you know
Yeah.
he goes back, and then the werewolf jumps at him and calls him, and then all of a sudden he wants to hit his head when he hit the ground, because he's kind of like losing conscious, and he sees like the werewolf that was shot revert into a naked man.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and that's it. And then he wakes up in the hospital, and it's like instantly there's like a hot nurse there. I'm like, I see what it is. Horror, put hot girls in there. That's already going into this. That's or the trope stereotype.
Well, no, it wasn't, because most nurses back then were super cute, super hot, just really a lot like her. She was a really great embodiment of what a typical
Really? Did you
nurse.
see the other nurse that was in the movie?
That's for
She was
contrast. I'm just saying in real
apparently,
life, it's the
yeah,
same
she
thing with
liked him. He apparently
stewardesses.
been there for 3 weeks, so
Yeah,
in a coma.
stewardesses were smoking hot back in the day, and now it's like, every time I fly or something, I'm like, really? It's just, I don't know. It's just standards have really dropped,
So
I guess.
so obviously she's already staring at him like girls look at Chuck Norris. They want the D.
The
This
American
whole thing.
D. I'm just saying, a
Yes,
little
American D.
international flavor, if you will. That's right.
Yes.
I wonder if he's circumcised. That's probably what she's thinking.
and and the funny thing is like, well, a couple of days go past, and now, and like he starts having the nightmares, and I'm like, first you see him running naked through the woods, and then you see him crouch behind a tree, and then he looks at a deer. Next thing you know, he's biting the deer's head off.
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, so he's going crazy, or or he's something's happening within him. He's transforming, because if at this point you think it's a werewolf. Well, by the title you assume it's a werewolf.
Hmm.
I'll just go with that. So then, she comforts him, like, and then the next thing he has another dream where he's at home, and all of a sudden there's people are knocking the door. His dad goes to the door. All of a sudden it's a freaking werewolf Nazi
I know.
with a German gun, machine gun. I was like, Is this where they got the idea for the Nazi werewolves
The
movie that
dog
came out?
soldiers? I don't know. Maybe it seems like it, but who knows?
Because because I know they did it in the movie Grindhouse, Robert Rodriguez and what's his name, Quentin Tarantino. That was one of their trailers they had. But I wonder if they got that trailer idea from this movie. But anyway, I was like, okay, this guy's tripping balls. He's got to be on something. It's like, and if he's not, I can't. As a transformation makes you hallucinate like that. What the hell? It's like this is my problem. Like right here, this is where I had the problem. This is where it starts turning go from a horror movie into a freaking comedy. I mean, because that's not scary to me at all. That's just like, what the hell is going on here? This is bad writing.
Well, when I was younger and saw this, I thought the comedy stuff was funny, but I was really like, wow, this is some really good graphics. And the thing is you know it's a movie, so you automatically are
Yeah,
laughing
yeah,
at it. But when you're
yeah,
watching it, you're like, it looks believable. And rewatching it again as an adult, I can emphasize a little bit more with some of the more adult themes and things going on. And so in that way, I look at it as going, no,
yeah,
it's not that funny. It's a bit more bitter and cynical, because you could
yeah.
say, oh, the doctor, was reasonable with describing what was going on. He wasn't full of himself, which I appreciate. It was a typical British guy. But then at the same time, too, when he's having all these dreams, you're like, well, it could be, the drugs that he's on while he's healing and the stress of what's going on.
It could, yeah,
All these
yeah.
things could easily explain it.
It's just weird. It's like it's like just random wolf Nazis. I was like, the strangest thing you could put in a movie is like, okay, okay. I mean, if it took place during World War II, maybe something like that. I don't know, but it's just weird for being in a movie that took place in 1981. Uh,
His
um,
his friend appears. Jack, comes up to him,
yeah,
and
yeah,
like, and
yeah,
he thinks he's hallucinating. He's basically, this is where it looks like it's funny, but it's really not. He's like the story we had talked about with The Fog and other movies. One of the themes that's out there is that ghosts come back and want to do the one thing they needed to do before they die, because their life's incomplete. Once they get that done, that's fine. If they forget or they don't know, they roam the world, whatever. I'll let Dalton authenticate the histrionics behind all that. But here, the thing with his boy, Jack's like making fun and trying to be lighthearted, and he's like, "Look, I know I look like shit, and his throat's all torn to shreds. It's just awesome
yeah,
looking."
yeah,
He's like, "You're a werewolf. You need to kill yourself." And it's like, wow, that's pretty blunt, but you kind of get it, and you're like, well, wait a minute, it's his buddy, but we know his buddy's really dead, so it's just kind of weird watching this. So, yeah, I can see where you think it's supposed to be kind of funny and comedy. I certainly thought
yeah.
that, but watching it more and more,
Well,
I'm like, God, this is so
that
damn
part seemed
dark.
more serious.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, before that, if he's on drugs, the heavy seven, I guess. Well, yeah, I guess he could maybe just hallucinate because remember they give him a heavy sedative,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those
and
things can
that's
you can.
that's. I mean, it's just a weird combination, though. It's like I never would have expected to see that.
Well, he's hooked up with the nurse, Alex, and they're. I think this writing was good with their dialogue about explaining what's going on, and seems kind of cheeky, to use that old expression about how she's like, "Well, I've only had, I think it was like 6 lovers in my lifetime, and blah 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 blah. So I don't normally do this, but you can stay with me for a little bit, whatever." And, I mean,
All
it
right.
seems genuine, like the chemistry
Yes.
between them. It's not, bro guy, bro girl, stupid stuff where you just, they seem really human, and it's not like you love them, but or you can step in their shoes. You just go, wow, this seems like everyday normal people going about their business, doing their things. He doesn't seem like an entitled douchebag, trust fund
No.
kid, running around like, that would just piss you off. They don't at all, and that's what I think even adds to the movie here too, because it's very very genuine. So the scene that's really, I think, one of the best ones in here is this whole next couple like minutes here where he's just kind of pacing around the house. The cat's not liking him. He's just kind of like sweating. He's just antsy. He can't do anything because he's getting ready to
Yeah.
change.
Well, yeah, because the
This is
dog.
so
He
badass. The whole
because
transformation.
she went to work and he's outside. He got locked out. So then all of a sudden, these two little creepy little girls come up to him and they have their little dog, and the dog's just crawling and barking at him. He's like, okay, over. And they're giggling. They walk away.
Hmm.
Then he's going to go into like over the window, and the cat's hissing at him. It's like, okay. So I'm like, it's typical in a lot of werewolf stuff, where the animals they do not like you. So they can sense a supernatural sense.
They can smell the cancer. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. so so yeah, like, and then he's going in there. He's like, I'm still not hungry. Like he's thinking like, well, I gotta be hungry sometime. He's still not hungry. And all of a sudden he's like, it's just all of a sudden he's just in there. He's like, oh god! It's like, what the hell? It's like, I was like, okay, that's just uncalled for. I
Yeah.
did not expect that to happen right away.
And this
Because it was,
transformation scene, there's no talking, there's no BSing around. They show you everything. Yes, it's practical effects. There's great stuff if you ever read or go do the behind the scenes stuff on the video. But just to me, once he changes and then he's going around, there's a fantastic scene, and it's one of the best in the movie where you got this guy and he's going down in the subway station. It's late at night and he's by himself, and he again, it's kind of like the scene at the beginning where they're walking the moors, where you don't actually see the werewolf, but you see them reacting to it and they're running away. Well, here, this guy's trying to run away and he's going down the escalators and everything, going deeper and deeper into it. And then he slips and he falls and the camera's getting closer and all that. And the only shot you actually get of this werewolf is the last scene where the guy's laying on the floor and it's a faraway camera shot looking down on it, and you just see like the head and shoulders like a dog kind of walking up to the guy, and that's it. And you're like, holy crap, is that impressive? I mean, they just tease you for like a
I mean,
minute, not even, with the
yeah,
view of it, and you're more than halfway through
and
the movie,
before that,
really.
do you remember before that though? He was in outside. There's these couple that are going over to a dinner party, and the guy's in there. Guy's like typical Brittany's eyes, like, yo, he's gonna wine. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
are they coming over? Where are they? It's like, and she's like, his wife's looking out the window, and she hears like, oh, the hooligans are back in the park
Those damn
again,
hooligans.
and what it really is just him just tearing apart this as a husband and wife. This so then finally the guy went outside and he's with his glass of wine, he's looking around, and he just sees a severed arm from the femur bone all the way up. It's just like a hand there. It's like okay, yeah, it's just
But when he
and,
wakes up, that's your favorite scene.
he wakes up and he's like he immediately sees the lion roar. He's like, okay, he's jumping
He's in the
scared.
zoo.
He- he's in the zoo there next to the wolves. I mean, God forbid he didn't do anything in there. Uh,
No, they would have seen
the
him
wolves.
as a pack animal. They would have seen him as the alpha. That's why they were all like, "Oh, we're staying the hell
Yeah,
away from you." Oh yeah, but he's completely
and
balls
he's
nude.
completely naked. So he's like all of a sudden he shows this little kid, dressed in like the Angus Young, little ACDC little schoolboy outfit, and he's got the balloons, and he's like, psst, here, like what? Come over here, I'll give you a pound. He's like, how, what? It's like, I'll give you 2 pounds if you come over here and give me the balloons. Or he's okay. He walks up. He's like, well, why should I get the balloons? Because I'm the balloon thief. And he jumps out, grabs the balloons, and runs away.
Yeah.
He's freaking butt naked. And I love it. He goes up to his mom. He's like, Mom, a naked American just stole my balloons. I was like, this is so random. So he's running, he's running through, and you see him with the balloons, and he grabs a lady's jacket, and then he's waiting in line for I guess for the trolley or the or the train.
Yeah,
And the
but
people
I
are
mean,
getting
at
blue
this
looks because
point,
he's in
like
a
I say,
woman's
you're
jacket.
about 2/3 of the way done with the movie, and there's not much left to it. I mean,
It's just funny because it's like I said, like this, yeah. Him being freaking naked. I guess that's what happened. That happens with a lot of the werewolf stuff. I mean, that's what's cool about the werewolf stuff. It was interesting though the fact that he took off his clothes first before he changed because he was so hot.
yeah, he was
Where
burned
other
up.
ones you see him, the shirt, the shirt just rips, and all that stuff.
Yeah, like the Incredible Hulk or something. Yeah, none of that. Where when you're done, the
Yeah.
pants still magically fit or whatever. No, none of that.
My thing is, I wish they never would have shown the werewolf at the end. Never would have shown him. Just show the eyes and that's it. Don't show the whole entire face or if you're gonna show a face, do it like an actual wolf face. Not like the whatever the hell that was, like a puppet.
Well, basically, we're here at the end where he kind of freaks and he realizes, yeah, I'm. It's right, Jack's right. I'm a werewolf. I'm going to try to kill myself. I'm going to run away to save her, save myself, whatever. And so this is where it gets, not really religious or philosophical even, but what the hell do you do? He tries to get arrested. It doesn't work. He tries to cut his wrist. Doesn't work. So where does he end up? He ends up in a porno
Do you remember-
theater.
I love how the things he's trying to get arrested. He's like, the Queen's a fag, Prince Charles is a fag, or it's like,
Yeah, they're just ignoring them. They're just like, oh, stupid drunk American teen. Yeah, but in this porno theater, it's really funny because you've got the sexy sax playing in the background, and they even show like a little clip of it where the couple's getting it on, and the one dude walks in. It's like, hey, what are you doing with my woman? And he's like, who the fuck are you? And he's like, sorry, wrong room, and walks out. And it's like, what the hell? It's really kind of bizarre, funny. I think I don't know why, but the couple that got murdered earlier that you had mentioned, they're in there with them, and they're just nice, and they're like,
Yeah.
we know it's not your fault. It's sorry, but yeah, you need to kill yourself, and they're just happy to be with each
I,
other in limbo
I
wherever they're
love how
at.
they just give ideas. I love how they're giving freaking ideas. It's like, here, use a gun or use a knife. You can shoot yourself. Hey, put the gun in your mouth and you can, and then we won't sure it won't miss. And then there's the three homeless guys that are like, screw you. We don't want to be here at all. Yeah. It's like,
Well, some people could say and get really like artsy and go, it's not really a werewolf in the film. It's just a metaphorical example of one man's guilt for letting his friend befall an unfortunate accident. So it's really all in his mind, you see. And if we, quite my good boy, consider the, it's like, shut up. No, it's a werewolf film and nothing more than that. I don't.
you
This
know,
movie's not trying to say anything. I think too much about guilt or anything else. I don't think it's trying to be too religious. I don't think it's trying to be too um, demonic, even though there's a
no,
pentagram.
no,
It was a
no.
rather generic one or whatever.
His best friend by this time, easy watch through the movie. Each time he's Jack appears, he's more and more decayed. By this time, he's a freaking skeleton almost. And
Yeah, he,
like
he
this is
looks
like
like
this.
Creepshow, the guy, where his eyeball is just kind of dangling there. There's like no flesh on his face. It's pretty cool looking, I think.
Yeah, it clearly looked like a claymation puppet or whatever you call him.
It was practical effects. I mean, I still prefer that. I still think it can look really, really good. Um, but he turns into a werewolf here. He gets a little furry, I guess, in the theater, the porno theater, and then he just starts whacking
Yes.
people left and right.
Yeah, things just get a little hairy in that porno theater.
Yeah, escape by the hair off your chin or something. I don't know. I mean, I guess you
I
could say they
mean, that
really
part that
nailed it in the theater. Yeah.
oh, I mean, the cops really got what came. The cop, man, he did not see that coming. He walked in
You
there.
could say
He's
the
like,
blood was spraying everywhere inside the theater. I mean, yeah. I mean, this is the end of
"That's
the movie. It's all it is. I mean, you could say, yeah, there was this small subplot fill in between some scenes where the doctor was actually went back to the pub to see about it and see what's going on, and he kind of shows up at the end. But really, he's just going nuts on the streets. He's in Trafalgar Square, I think it is, or Piccadilly Circus. Well, I guess that one. Um,
yeah."
but basically ends up in an alleyway with all the police and stuff like that, and just gets shot. That's pretty much it. Except for earlier, you had
I'll say I love
CCR
that
playing Bad Moon Rising, which is a great little tune. But to your point, finish it up.
at the well, at first when he's in the theater before he got to the alleyway, the one cop, and he's like, "Oh dear God, there's a monster!" And he closes the freaking shutter door and he's holding it, and here comes a crowd. They're like, "Oh, what's over there? I hear noises. Let's just gather." They're like a bunch of idiots. I'm thinking, and there's the cops with their little all they didn't have a gun. All they had was the little billy clubs,
Hmm.
and they're holding it. And then finally the other cops come up, and here comes the snotty inspector. He thinks he's no know it all. And he's like, "What is going on?" And here comes the werewolf, just jumps right through the freaking the barricade, bites the guy's head off, and then you see the head guy's inspector's head just rolls, it bounces even. So, yeah, of course. Then he goes, yeah. Then they chase him in the alleyway. Here comes Alex, the hot nurse, also from
She's just a cutie
Logan's.
pie. She really
She's
is.
from Logan's Run,
Yeah,
the
Logan's
main
Run.
star. Yes. Anyway, so she's thinking like, oh, she's like, she runs to the cops and the cops barricade, and she's thinking that she could save him. I'm thinking like, man, like they're really gonna go with the romance at this because like I said, like how it bounced around from generate to general, it was just like was kind of like just stick with one. It's like so okay. So anyway, she's in there thinking like, well, he's a werewolf. He's already killed like 12 or 15 by now people, and she's like, hey, David, it's me. Like, I'm here to help you. Let me help you. Like, I love you and stuff. So, and he kind of gets, he's a wolf, kind of hesitates it a little bit, and then lunges there, and all of a sudden, all the cops just fire it at him, shoots him, and he's dead.
Yeah,
And
completely
then,
unload on
and,
him.
and she sits here crying. Here comes the cop comes up, and all of a sudden, it's this blue moon. It's like, what the heck?
That's
And
a
the
great way to
credits,
end. It really is.
I
I,
know,
I
it
like
was
it.
abrupt. That was a Chuck Norris abrupt
That's how you end a
ending right
film,
there.
bro. You don't mess around. This is 10 to Midnight from 1983 with Bronson. Shoot the guy. I don't think so. Bam. Roll credits. Done. We don't need an epilogue. We don't need coda. We don't need an explanation. We don't need a little fancy thing to say, oh, this is going to happen again. No, end the damn thing. Oh, it's great. Fantastic ending. Fantastic film. Absolutely. Um, Final thoughts before I do mine.
Final thoughts? Ah, don't go out tonight. There's a bad moon rising.
Yeah, a blue moon's made out of green cheese. I don't know how that works scientifically speaking, but yeah.
And
No,
if you see your dead friend appearing to you, you might want to heed his words.
yeah. Usually ghosts kind of don't really lie if you notice. You know what I'm saying? I just food for thought.
I mean, he was dead honest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was completely transparent. Especially at the end. I mean, wow, you could really see right through those comments. I mean, man.
Exactly. It's like, wow.
Bloody disgusting great film. Now this film is great. I honestly, again, and Maranya popped in and made a comment saying that she remembers some comedy elements to it. I look at it as more of a cynical kind of thing, a little lighthearted because it's such a dark film. So to me, it's not a comedy film. It's definitely horror. I don't think it really, like I say, explores any themes too deep. I think it's well acted, well shot. It's a good looking film. It's a classic to me. It's one of the better werewolf films. And I don't think werewolf films in general get enough love because I mentioned earlier Dog Soldiers, which, pardon me and anybody from across the pond, I don't remember if that's British or if that's you know, gosh, Irish or Swedish or something. But it's a good werewolf film. It's pretty neat. It's pretty cool. It's a little more of an
I
action
mean,
movie to me. Definitely recommend Dog
I've
Soldiers.
I've always loved werewolves movies, and I love vampire movies. I mean, like Underworld. I'll get flack for this because I like Underworld and Underworld too. But dude, it was werewolves versus vampires. Werewolves were basically the slaves, that rebelled against the vampires, So now they're like bitter enemies. But I love it because it was like Blade almost. How they'd use each would use like what the vampires would use like silver, case bullets, that kill the werewolves, and then like the werewolves would use or UV light in case the bullets.
Hmm.
So like it's so. I mean, as far as other werewolf movies, I mean, we can do them all if you want
Well,
to.
I'll simply say for how we talked about that offline. For me, this is my number four film of 1981, the fourth best film. Five, six, seven. My number eighth film of that year was Wolfen with Albert Finney. I went on and on about how good that was. This was the year of werewolf movies because The Howling even almost made my list. It made my top 15 or 20. So definitely the year for werewolf movies. And this is the time when Ian and I started hanging out, talking, and all that. And we'd already seen all this stuff, so it was good conversations. But I gotta say, I know we're getting ready to end here to get ready to do our top 10 1996 films for Top 10 Tuesday with Englentine. But this, I just want to leave it on this. And Doctor, I know we don't have 100% complete information, so we don't want to be incomplete because even though we like to think of ourselves as you know,
To the end.
personalities, I just think that, well, I mean, put it to blank. There was a werewolf here in Central Florida at one point, and I know you were digging up information on a werewolf locally that you had there too. So I just wanted to let everybody know we're serious, not joking around. Okay, I know the time for fun and games is over. We were talking about a really great movie, but in all honesty, I'm putting together some prints of some werewolf stuff that's happened here in Central Florida, and I already know everything, but I just want to put everything together. So the next time we do our conspiracy stream or a conspiracy one, we're going to have proof to show you guys that there are actually werewolves. That's the bonus talk in the description today. So I don't want to really say too much more than that because if they're listening, I don't want them to do an EMP assault here in the Pine Hills Palace like they did before, knock us off grid because E has problems with that. But Doctor, I almost felt like my stuff was kind of childish, and then you showed me some of the information that you had come up with already and that you were
We
verifying
have
and
we
all
have a
that.
few different. We have like a few hundred different sightings up here on the Beast of Bray Road.
Yeah, the Beast of Bray Road, and Well, I don't even want to say
Uh,
the name of mine because
there
that's going to
are
give it
like
away.
to the towns to like to the west of me, about like 40 miles to the west of me, up by my sister, and a little bit in Dodge County. There were people who had like claw marks underneath their windows, um, and these are taller than any cougar can like jump up and reach.
Yeah, and
Horses mutilated, you know,
well, you showed me some of the
slash.
videos because you kind of had an occurrence recently too, and I will tie this back to some culture kind of stuff that amuses Dalton and some others. But we're serious about this, and we've really held back on a lot of conspiracy stuff because we thought you guys would not want to listen to that. But I think, in honor of American Werewolf in London, of the fact that, especially for you doing your nighttime visits and everything else there too, and even though I'm in basically Strip Mall Central right here in Pine Hills, there was a time in being a local here, you hear lots of stories and you see lots of things, but now I'm digging up the proof. So we might just have to drop that unannounced one day on you
Uh,
guys. So be on
you
the
know
lookout
me,
for
I
that.
always, you know me, I always carry silver with me.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. All right,
Silver and
guys.
iron.
What's that?
Silver and iron. That's what you need.
Yeah, you've got a lot of things in that giant first aid kit of yours. That's why I don't understand going trick or treating. You expect to get that stuff refilled. I mean, it's kind of cheap on your part,
Well,
sir.
well,
But
the beer is not for fun. The beer is for calming myself down.
yeah. Okay, guys, thank you all for showing up. This is a great stream. We had a lot of people on for a long time. Ed Burr's even talking about Waldorf, Maryland, where there was some sightings there too. We're going, Ed, with documented cases that we are verifying ourselves and through another party. So we will actually present some of that to some people, and we'll have a digital record of it for the world to see. So that won't be a conspiracy. But I have no idea what the hell to title it yet or what kind of music. It just might be a breaking news thing. I don't know. And it probably won't be very long, but keep your eyes out for that. As always, I'd like to thank Doctor for showing up tonight, giving his diagnosis on the movie as always. And I'd like to thank Eglinton too for he's chopping up some of the Halloween movies and putting those out there too that we had started a year ago. If you guys haven't heard that, we went through the entire Halloween franchise and talked about each film because they're so fantastic. We may do a watch party on one of those coming up, but we've got a lot to cover. We're going to be doing top 10 1996 movies tonight. I'll have my top 15, and the team will have his top 47 and a half, and then his Asian list, I'm sure. So it'll be interesting to see how we go. So I hope to see you guys there. For the doctor, for myself, stay extreme.
And always, Rob, stay alive.
Staying alive, staying alive.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Stay alive.
Good night, everybody. Yeah, watch out for those werewolves.
Ow.